Brock, good afternoon. Nice to see you back. Maybe can you just start off with what the last couple of weeks has been like for you, Brock?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. Obviously quarantined 5 days in States and then came back, and I think there's a lot of miscommunication on what was agreed on and what actually happened, and quarantined another 5 days, and they still wanted us guys to quarantine more. I know the other guys are still stuck until Wednesday, so I feel really bad for them. It's just a really crappy scenario.
What was you sound frustrated. What was the misinformation, Brock? Maybe clear it up for us.
Well, I mean, it's just frustrating because, us guys quarantine like we're supposed to. And then, I think, I'm not sure exactly who talked to the government and told us we got the okay to only quarantine another 5 days. So that's 10 days total. And now the government made the guys quarantine another 10. So that's 15 days total for those guys. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think that's really great for them. And, it's just a really crappy scenario, like I said.
Next up is Ben Kuzma, Post Media.
Hey, Brock, a couple from me. Let's start in Anaheim. What do you do in 5 days of isolation? I mean, obviously you're confined to the hotel room. What were you able to do? How did you keep yourself sane and maybe a little bit fit? What were you able to do in Anaheim in those 5 days, Brock?
I think, just being in so many different quarantine situations over the past couple of years, I think that you just got to find a routine you like when you wake up, kind of what you do. And I feel once you find routines, then you just follow that routine, like wake up, breakfast, maybe do a little workout, what you can do in there, and, then watch a show or take a nap, and then, wait until the boys' game at night. And just luckily when I was in there for 5 days, the boys played 3 of the night, so that really helped. Just kind of buy time until the game's on, and then it's nighttime and bedtime at that point. And obviously watch a lot of shows. I got an Xbox delivered to the hotel, so played some golf. The Wi-Fi wasn't great, so I couldn't play Fortnite, but that definitely bought some time.
Brock, in dealing with your agent, he expressed as much frustration as you. I mean, you did your 5 days, you took the flight to Vancouver. Were you of the mind that, listen, there's this 10-day NHL quarantine, and that's what we're trying to abide by here. And there's the border services, there's another agency that looks after quarantine, and then you have the federal government. Is that what was frustrating for you and probably your agent? You're dealing with different bodies and getting mixed messages?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was agreed upon almost everyone except the federal government, is what I know. And I mean, it's frustrating, I mean, everyone knows that 15 days is way too long for someone that's had COVID, especially when, the quarantine's been reduced to 5 days for almost everyone. So, it's just really frustrating for sure. And, like us guys wouldn't have flown back if we knew that situation was going to happen. We'd all stayed in the States. So, like I said, I feel terrible for the guys that are still locked up.
We'll go next to Thomas Drance at The Athletic.
Hey, Brock, just curious, now that you guys are all back on the other side of the border, did what you and Jason and Justin all sort of experienced from the last trip, like, does that color the experience of this Southeastern trip? Is that in the back of everyone's minds now as you go through the next 8 days?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Just in terms of testing positive on that side of the border as a player based in Canada is a totally different stakes game than testing positive up here.
Yeah, I think if anyone tests positive now, they're stuck here for 14 days. I mean, because no one wants to be in that situation again. Even if you test positive here, you're out after 5 days and you can fly somewhere where you can skate, and you can skate until you're allowed back in. I mean, no one wants to go back and be stuck there in quarantine for that long. So Unless there's something that's actually approved upon, that's everyone knows that it's only going to be an extra 5 days or whatever, then I'm sure they'll come back. But if there's some gray area, I'm sure they're not going to make that same mistake again.
Just from a player experience standpoint, Brock, like you guys have now competed through a pandemic for almost 2 years. You've done a complete bubble in a prison yard in Edmonton. You've done, the hour meals that were last season. But is this in some ways the most confusing, sort of era of dealing with this?
Yeah. I mean, I think just over the years, I just know that they worked with the government and everything a lot, and, figured everything out, and then it gets reduced to 5 days, and then we have almost 15 days total. I don't know. I think it's just kind of funny, and I think it's just, like you said, it's confusing and it's hard to understand, but that's just how it was. And it sucks, and it sucked. And luckily, I got to come back, and I'm very grateful for that, and really happy I'm back with the guys and being able to play tomorrow. So, it's a big positive.
We'll take one more for Brock from Jeff Patterson, Rink Wide Podcast.
Hey, Brock. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's been a while.
You too.
I won't ask you about momentum because you haven't played a game in a while, but I will ask you about confidence and this layoff. It's not like you were injured and you were rehabbing. As you said, there was a lot of downtime and idle time. You were playing so well and scoring goals before everything was halted here. Can you carry that confidence with you despite the layoff here?
For sure. I think, I still have that feeling of, I feel like I can score any game, and, it's a great feeling. And even in practice, I still feel like I have that confidence and kind of that swagger again. And, but, just kind of basing off tomorrow, I'm probably a little out of shape compared to the guys. I know they had a hard week of practice, and it just comes down to, I think, simplifying my game, having short shifts, and really, focusing on shooting the puck and working as hard as I can. And, I think if I do that, I'll slowly start to feel better and better. And hopefully I can continue to contribute to this team and help us win hockey games.
You take them as they come at you one at a time. I know that. You start with a really good Florida team, but this road trip, what might we learn about the Vancouver Canucks when you basically are running the gauntlet of the top teams in the National Hockey League?
I think it's going to prove a lot to us as a team, and it's going to show a lot. Like you said, we're facing some of the best teams in hockey this road trip, especially these first two games. So it's a big test for our group, but it's a test we need, I think. We've been playing such good hockey, and you want to play the best and beat the best. So I think we're all excited to be back together and get ready for these games. And we really have to be prepared for tomorrow, and hopefully we can get some wins.